Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Red Path. My name's Brian, and this here is James. And
Hi there.
today, we're joining you on a somewhat of a special occasion. We haven't necessarily done this for a minute. I know the last guest we had on to the Skull Takers. Welcome to the episode of the Skull Takers. Was Josie Cartwright with her Cult of Blood detachment going undefeated, which is a feat in itself, right? Because I would say right now, the World Leader Codex time. It feels very monopole in terms of what you can pull out of the codex. I mean, it's all we hear is Berserker Warband, Berserker Warband, Berserker Warband. Well, right off the back of the Nova Open, which is the biggest major to happen in the US for quite a while since Dallas or even Adepticon, still quite a bit bigger than both of those. We have a new guest with us, James, who managed to go 8-1, the same record as me. Um, at the Nova Open with Khorne Daemonkin, which, if you're following me at all on the Red Path, I was a little down in the dumps on them because we just ate like not a really that FAQ kind of stung a little bit. And if I was looking at most of my Demonkin friends right now that were wanting to go, I'd say, hey, cut back on Bloodletters. But you know what? James said, screw that, and got right in there. So James, how's it going? How you doing?
It's going good. It's been a really kind of surreal time going 8-1. Been it was a really fun Nova, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, that's awesome, James. Like 8-1, like that is probably like my best tournament performance I'd say ever. Going second place at Nova. I mean for me, but I mean for you, like is this how often are you getting out there? How many events are you typically hitting up, right? Is this like do you travel for events? Is this like in your backyard?
So this is only my second Nova, and I'll do a lot of RTTs in my area in sort of Southern Virginia, but I don't do traveling to things like LVO or Adepticon, at least not at the moment. So for my second Nova, I was really happy with the final
Yeah.
performance.
I mean, man, you did awesome. So, before we get into the game too much, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself, James? Like, why World Eaters? How'd you get into this army? Why does Demonkin speak to you? Have you always been a corn guy, or is this just a phase?
I have not always been a corn guy, but I think I am forever from now on now that I've sort of discovered it. I've actually only been playing World Eaters since just after Nova 2024.
Oh,
Buddy of mine after that sold his army for a really good price. And I've been playing Warhammer actually since fourth edition on and off. So about 2 decades now. And I kind of had a on and off growing salamander collection. Took that to Nova 2024, and I noticed every list change I made was always adding more melee units. So that was clearly what I wanted to be doing.
yeah.
So the World Eater pickup was natural and was having so much fun with that index that I just grinded that index all the way through Richmond Open,
Mhm.
where was a good send off to it. Got best World Eaters there with a non-Gron list. I actually still don't own Angron.
Wow.
I do not own
That,
him.
you almost deserve a trophy for that. I know that Dara, to his heart, is so proud of you right now.
The joke I always say is that he's the dad that went out for smokes that I wish would stop coming back. I don't need him. I just need Karn. But after Codex was I have a lot of blood crushers just in my collection. So I
Mhm.
was really excited for demons, even though I'm not running 9 blood crushers. And I've just been playing that since because I found it so much fun. And uh, I was on vacation when the nerf came out. And so I just had to kind of like put tissue paper in my ears and ignore it and be like, we'll deal with it when we get back. Um, but yeah, it's been a really rewarding time. And I mean, they're the only army I've bought merch for. So, so
That's
I'm
something.
loving them. Yeah, I'm loving them.
Yeah, and I think honestly, for me too, like world leaders, in terms of their play pattern at the table, no game is ever the same.
Nope.
Your blood dice are always there's always like a variable there when you're playing your Yahtzee. Melee is super chaotic, even if like I encourage you guys to go watch. I mean, you're on stream at least once. The stream games, nothing you expect to happen normally in that game happens. Uh, dice averaged out, but at both extremes for both players. So,
100%.
we'll get into that. We won't spoil too much, but I think World Eaters really does keep it fresh every single time it plays. So, and especially Daemonkin. So, how about we just get right into Nova, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Nova is an event. Tell us a little bit like vibes, all that stuff.
Vibes are great this year. Every opponent I had was uh, real good, real friendly. The convention hall, something seemed just different in the air from the previous year. Attitudes for everybody that at least I ran into were amazing. Uh, Hotel was fine. Overpriced food.
Yeah,
Uh,
$20 hot dogs. I was just like,
yeah,
huh?
I do have to
Huh?
call out. We paid extra money for a room with like we got free buffet, and then they left us a note on the pillow going, "We don't have buffet," and it's just like awesome, cool.
Bruh, get baited.
Yeah, wonderful. But yeah, it was a
Uh,
real fun time. Especially because I was real nervous my first year and had some anxious experiences because of that. So going into my second year and having it be that good was a really nice change.
yeah, it's awesome. So, I mean, everybody's probably here because we don't hear too much about Khorne Daemonkin at the moment. So, you chose to go to one of the biggest super majors and I think the biggest on the East Coast. You chose to go with an unorthodox detachment. And I would say that you chose to go with an unorthodox list for an unorthodox detachment. So how about we just break that down? If you want to like walk us through your list right now, some of the choices you made and whatnot.
Sure thing. So, off the bat, we've obviously got Karn. Can't leave home without him. Very simple. And we have a Master of Executions. I know from talking with other people who play KDK, they don't really like running more than 10 Berserkers. Um, but then your alternative is 8 bound, and 8 bound are 8 bound and not very good. So I think Master of Executions fits in really well here with a Blade of Endless Blood, which I'll go more into in a bit. Scarbrand, he's kind of one of the biggest buffs the detachment has. You can kind of, even if you don't take into account the lance, let's say you never get lance the whole game, he's still Scarbrand.
Yeah. He's what we want Angron to be right now.
Exactly. Then we have 40 Bloodletters, because why not just lean into the nerf? Um, it
Yeah.
it's so much for the opponent to deal with, and I'll kind of explain my thought process of taking that many for this tournament when I finish up. 20 Berserkers, like I said, a single Rhino, a unit of Blood Crushers to kind of play an interesting primary game. I actually really like just a single unit of Blood Crushers. Reason being is you can often on various primary layouts or terrain layouts set a single one early on kind of an exposed primary position, but still in coherency of two, they're out of line of sight. It dies, and you pop a CP in your command phase, bam, resurrect it. You get some primary
Yeah.
and maybe some extra movement. Uh, 2 units of spawn, 1 unit of flesh hounds for the, as you said, puppy downy. Is that what you said
Yeah,
when we
Puppy
played?
Downy.
I
Yeah.
like that a lot. Two Forgefiends and a unit of jackals. And crazily, I've been playing this attachment in tournaments since it came out. This is the first tournament I've run a Forge Fiend.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
you're hitting us with never don't even own Angron and first tournament you brought Forge Fiends out for a spin, right?
Yeah.
So I guess there's a lot to unpack here. We can start at the top with the choice of Mo. Like I'm also in that camp of why am I running more than 10 Berserkers? I mean, Karn plus 10 Berserkers is already just crazy good in any detachment, barring like the strength four nerf, or not nerf, but the strength four on Berserkers, you can really kind of feel that in a
Yeah.
lot of detachments that aren't warband. Daemonkin can I feel like gets around that a little bit just because Karn is just Karn. And you get the Lance Twin Linked, but I mean we're playing a full extra squad Berserkers here, man. Tell me about Mo and why he's got Blade.
Yeah. So Blade of Endless Blood, again, for Khorne Daemonkin, you have to roll every time you get a kill to see if you get that tie. Then it's on a 3-up, which is painful. Blade of Endless Blood, anytime you get a kill, you are not rolling that die. And Mo can precision out a character, farm a CP, and then use that CP he just farmed to then get an extra D3 tithes and automatically activate it. So it's a really solid unit that you can even afford to sort of trade into something of less value as long as you're getting a character kill, because it's going to turn on the rest of the list in a very quick capacity to compared to some of the more riskier games you might have where you're really hoping for three ups early. It is still a Berserker squad too, so it's still putting out a Blood Surge threat sort of in wherever it ends up. It's not going to survive wherever it ends up, mind you, but
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 it'll
it
get
is
there.
it'll get the job done and it'll turn your Bloodletters on to their lance or whatever you need them to do at the time.
Yeah, awesome. And then speaking of turn the bloodletters on, 40.
Yeah.
Explain. Talk me
So
through it.
general thought process here was, going into Nova, going into seeing while I'm on vacation, both the nerf to the strat, which for those who don't know, it went from outside of an inch to outside 6 inches for the summon by slaughter. Uh, and seeing the emergency balance update for knights and death guard. My thought process was everyone's going to be teching into fighting knights, right? So what are we talking about? We're talking about low volume, high damage shot and low screening capacity. And time again, when I had 30 bloodletters on the field and an opponent asked me, well, you're all out right now. Oh, there's 10 more actually in my cart. Just watching the light fade from their eyes as they know they cannot contain this. Um, it is it is really well suited for that kind of meta to just outpace people. And in addition, they're a unit that can, into this particular meta, punch up incredibly well. Strength 5 with Lance into a meta where we've got T9 War Dogs, T9 drones everywhere for Death Guard, and T9 Doomsday arcs everywhere. Like AP2 2 damage, once you get your Lance, you're winning on fours. It's really effective for 90 points. So running 40 of them, it was, I felt was very effective. Now, you can ask that question of like, should this be a second Rhino? Maybe in some massive matchups. Should this be a second Spawn? Maybe in some matchups. But for the amount of deep striking you can get out of this to really sort of pull your opponent in bad directions,
Yeah.
I found it more worthwhile.
Now, did you really feel the nerf? I'll just say, well, like, spoil it a little bit. Did you really feel the nerf at all with the bloodletter spawning strat? Did it like, is it still, would you say that's still a selling point for running that many bloodletters?
So I definitely felt it because the tournaments I've run before, yeah, just being able to be like, oh, you got area denial and you killed my spawn. No, you didn't get area denial. Sorry. That's really effective. What I did find was my use of the stratagem changed from being 100% reactive to about 50% aggressive, Forgefiends killing and spawning 10 and 50% reactive. And that reaction is less so, getting on a primary, although that still can happen, especially on, for instance, hidden supplies where there's lots of primary to sit on. Um, but often it's like, I'm just going to spawn out of line of sight.
Okay.
At most, I was using it twice a game.
Okay. And then you said we've never used a Forge Fiend before, and then you used
Yeah,
them at this event. How was that? I
they're
mean,
incredible.
we knew that, and I
Yeah.
thought that you pair that with the bloodletters spawning. It felt like the Forge Fiends are shooting bloodletters at people sometimes. It's just like, yeah, the bullets are bloodletters. So
Yeah, it's insane. I really wanted to challenge myself when the codex came out not to use them because I could see how good they were on paper.
yeah,
And so I was running Blood Crusher, extra Blood Crushers. I was actually running a single unit of 8-bound and Slaughterbound with Icon of War,
yeah,
um, which just never comes up when you need it, to be
yeah.
frank. Um, and then for a few test games in Nova, I was running the Forge Fiends. And the main thing that I noticed isn't just, yeah, their offensive output is insane. It's also, oh, suddenly my opponent, who also is a shooting army, isn't fully exposing and just making a parking lot of shooting stuff because they are afraid of my shooting. So suddenly all my melee elements actually have a little bit more breathing room because they're afraid of Forge Fiends. And that was an insanely different experience.
Yeah, and
Um,
I can definitely speak for that myself. It just feels like there's another tool in the toolbox to bring out as a world leader player to really take advantage of that. So and I think we even joked back and forth at the table when we played. I was just like, please don't nerf me, GW. This thing's outside of 18 inches. It does nothing. And
You
then as soon as
can't
you get
do
within 18,
anything.
yeah, I was like screaming at my Forge Fiend. I think I shot your Forge Fiend with two, did nothing, and I was like, I was just like big sad, but we'll get there. So, anyways, it's a banger list, man. Definitely speaks my heart. I definitely it might steal a little bit of it. I mean,
Please do.
I'm the at this point I'm being fully converted to like what Oscar the Grouch, what the trash man. Like I'm the trash man, right? At this point. I love my trash. And that was the point of my list. And your list has so much trash. So much trash. So why are we bringing so much trash? And I think you said you nailed it on the head with and that's exactly what I did. Is everybody was kind of going so tall right now, trying to kill just knights and being able to skirt around them with just spawn running in every direction. Bloodletter spawning everywhere. Extra jackals on the table for in my case. Like that was really, I think, a really good decision to make, and it showed. Like you made the exact same decision I made going into Nova, but with a different shell, and that was really awesome to see. So, we'll just get straight into it, guys. We don't have time to talk in depth about every single game. We don't need this to be a 5-hour video, guys. So we are going to ask you to run through each of your matchups one at a time here, James. Hit us the highlights, and if you want to sit down and like really pick a game apart, we can do that. So that being said, round one, let's get right into it. Round one, Purge the Foe. I think that one was spicy one out the gate. Probably one that I think you had the exact same gut feeling I had for this one.
Just please no knights, please no knights.
Please no knights, please no
Please
knights.
don't do it. I got Mortarian's Hammer Death Guard for this one.
Oh, still not
Yeah.
great.
Still not great. PVCs are still really good. This one was running a lot of 5-man Plague Marines, interestingly.
Interesting.
Yeah, and Forge Fiends and Bloodletters for the MVP. This was the start of the uh this was the start of all but one game at Nova. I took my opponent's home objective. And all but two of those, they never got it back. This was the start of that. And this is where I really got to see those Bloodletters shine into all these drones and just start picking them to pieces. Um, and Scarbrand is also a wonderful threat to Death Shroud Terminators.
Yeah.
You know, just every single swing is going to pick one up. They bring in their 6-inch deep strike. Cool. Rapid Ingress Scarbrand and then threaten to heroic intervene them if they do charge. What are they going to do? Kill him?
Yeah.
Unlikely. They try, he gets stronger. All right.
Yeah, that's what I tried. It got scary.
It got real scary. And then a rhino ran me over. Yeah, no spoil. But then I can kind of breeze past that because guess what? Second game, which mission for that was hidden supplies. Um,
So we did get the
also
round one win.
we
Final
did get the
score.
round one win. Final score on that was 100 to 46.
Gotcha.
Uh, that one felt good, but the next game was also Mortarian's Hammer.
Bro, come
Yeah,
on. I mean, like,
yeah.
I think this was the number one thing of people popping off for you. People were popping off hard for you in the various World Leader Discords because they're like, this dude just keeps getting death card and knights back to back to back.
So painful, man. But for this one, I actually saw he had more PVCs, if I remember correctly. And after my first game, I went, you know what? No, and just put my second Berserker squad in strat reserve. I was like, I'll rapid ingress them and run them. I'm not letting them just get plinked away and losing 200 points just to indirect fire over the course of the game. Um, this one was a very clear game where, you know, triple Death Shroud Terminators are running around, but with the amount of Bloodletters that are spawning everywhere, where are they dropping? Right? You're able to screen these guys with your trash really well. He only can overwatch once. You're still AP2, damage 2. You still have the ability to get Lance and win them on fours. And with Karn's unit, you can get Dev Wounds and just tear through any of them easily. And it just becomes a bloody mess. And then you just move, touch the PPCs, and you've kind of locked them in their deployment zone. And that was kind of the common theme I kept seeing with Death Guard is they just don't have the activations to keep up with this kind of play. Sure, they can drop everything, but they're going to drop everything way sooner than you are. And you're going to have leftover activations to say, okay, you've put these Terminators over here. They're there now. And either I have something else to deal with them or I can just walk away.
Yeah.
There are some games where you just do that. You just walk away and they're not going to catch you, and that's fine. Um, But we ended up taking that one 97 to 53.
But yeah, so at this point you've demonstrated that you can handle Death Guard, and I want to like really hit on the points that you just said, right? It's really important in this matchup, I think, to have that rapid ingress threat, like having Scarbrand in reserves. For me, I was doing the exact same thing with I didn't pair Death Guard, but Invocatus plus three, eight bound, same concept in reserves of it's waiting around the corner. Here's a crap ton of da high quality damage to attacks. The best part of everything you're describing right now is I just described like a 300 point unit that is going to ingress and do that. You can do it with a 90 point unit that
Yeah.
has a reasonable chance of picking up all three Dash Shot Terminators in just one swoop. And that was, I definitely felt the fear in my game of a 90 point unit picking up my 300 point units. Um, so what would, again, like, and I just want to hit the Death Guard matchup just a little bit because I mean, you didn't just win these games, you slaughtered these poor Death Guard players. Actually, no, they know what they did. They're not they know what they did. They're not poor Death Guard players. All right. But still, but like is the ability to go wide, outmaneuver them, and then just leaning on Bloodletter than 90 points. I have to say, man, that's like they're dirt cheap. They're
They're
dirt
dirt
cheap.
cheap. I will happily pay 20 less points for one less OC than Index Demons. It is awesome.
It's awesome to see, man.
Yeah.
All right, so game three.
Game three was into Custodes, specifically the Dreadnought detachment.
Oh,
Yeah, so double Telemon, triple of the I always call them eggs, the Heresy era Dreadnoughts, Contemptors.
sure.
D double Caladius, some sisters for some early scouting and objective holding, and a unit of wardens with a blade champion. I believe that was the whole list. If you're not familiar with this, the Contemptors stand back up on a two. The Telemons subtract one to all your damage. The character Telemon has a five up, feel no pain. This was kind of just more of the same, to be honest. It's very vehicle centric, which Death Guard is. It is very tough, which Death Guard is, but it's really low activation count. And the activations it does have are mostly suited to fighting knights. The Contemptors, sure, they have a melee profile. Their shooting is a multi-melta. That's it. The
That's it. Yeah.
Caladius is las cannons, twin link las cannons. That's great. Very scary for Scarbrand or any Forgefiend I have. Not scary for 10 bloodletters.
Right.
Like
Did you find
scary
your
for four of them.
did you find yourself leaning on like the revive D6 Bloodletter strat at all in this moment? Because I feel like that actually be like kind of
So
sick.
I found myself in this moment, just this mission, if I remember correctly, was yes, it was taken hold. And I just put 20 in his home point and took it turn two. And then
How'd you get 20? Was that just to ingress and get there, or did you kill
I just
something and
just deep struck
some
him and
sisters?
he
Oh,
doesn't have enough to screen. Um,
oh,
they just don't have enough. All those dreadnoughts have to come forward. They're just on a single base. The Caladiuses need to come get their angles so they can't stay back. And only one unit of sisters is left on the point at that point. So you just drop 20 down. I had to try an 8-inch charge three times because I failed twice and then CPU rolled it. Got it on the third.
I mean, you'll get it
Uh,
eventually.
Eventually, if I just keep spending dice. Um, then he was at that point forced to take his wardens and send them backwards. Meanwhile, all these dreadnoughts are fighting off Khorne. They're fighting off Mo, who's going into the Telemons and just hitting as hard as he can. And the Contemptors are having to survive Forgefiend shooting. The Contemptors similarly are T9, so Forgefiends into them really deadly, and they're like Khorne. They only stand up on a two, but you can roll that one, and that happened a few times to this guy, unfortunately. Um, and when those wardens came back to take us home, same situation, Scarbrand, you rapid ingress him, and you go, you're going to charge me. I'm going to heroic intervene. He then nearly killed Scarbrand with the Blade Champ in one go because
That
he rolled
happens.
he rolled four sixes
Uh,
on the
They
wound.
they never seem to roll average. They only roll ones or they only roll sixes.
Yeah, they either completely body you or they're the most worthless thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but at that point, it was kind of like game, set, and match. And the kind of nail in the coffin was I had Lance up, 10 bloodletters charged to Caladius, 20 attacks. I think I'm still wounding on fives with Lance at that point. It's got 14 wounds. I roll fairly well, hand him eight saves. He fails seven. And there it
Nice.
goes. Yeah. And it was just like
Nice.
I saw the light in his eyes and I looked at him and went, I'm so sorry, bro. So sorry. But it was a fun game. He was a great opponent.
Don't feel
Uh,
bad for him. We don't have love for custodial players in this channel.
no Imperial
We
players.
we, we I've been traumatized too much by Folger to have love for that for
Honestly,
custodians.
that's fair. That's fair. 98-35 was the final there.
Brutal, man. I mean, like you've to speak in WTC terms 23 times in a row now. That's pretty
Yeah.
brutal out the gate. And I would actually like in my head, I was thinking that actually might be a hard matchup for you, right? The
Yeah.
ability to crack a contemptor, then it gets back up, like the value there. But like you said exactly, they just don't have the volume to get through. 10 5-up invulns is actually harder to get through than you think. I mean, like Bloodletters are paper, but you still have to put something into them.
And this is I think at this point I can go into sort of when you're prioritizing your blessings, in my opinion, it's always Lance. But then instead of saving up for the five, I usually spend on the four because 10 bloodletters with a four up involved, that's a pain in the ass suddenly.
Yeah.
And if you've got 40 of them running around, that's a problem all of a sudden. And I don't really need them to have lethal and sustained at that point.
Yeah, by the time you have lethal sustained, you've killed. You need what 8 blood tie to get Lance and then lethal and system or Lance and then everything else, which means you've gotten 8 blood tie points, which means you've killed 12 units, and the average army is 14, 15 units, maybe a
Yeah.
little bit less than that. So your opponent's tabled, and you're like, ha, I'm powered up. So I can see that, and that's awesome to see.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody actually advocate for the 4-up invul, but in your list, that makes perfect sense,
Yeah,
right?
it's great for the late game because as you're running out of stuff and they only have like spare shots to try and clear you, suddenly your chaff that's everywhere, they just don't have enough because they've run out of stuff like you have. Even if you have a very close back and forth game.
All right, James, right off of 3 dominant wins, straight into round 4. Who did we pull for round 4?
Chaos Knights.
Man, running the gauntlet right now. You are definitely
Yeah,
not getting off easy.
this hurt, dude. This was painful. Um, Twin Despoilers with, 36 damage, two shots each and sustained and other shots. That was pretty painful.
It's bad news
Uh,
bears for berserkers, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And I got unfortunate enough to get it. Normally, layout one's great. Normally, I love layout one. I do not like layout one against knights, especially when those knights can have extra movement because all of those ruins that are normally your friends suddenly become massive liabilities like they
Yeah, they
don't
just
exist.
we refer to that ruin as the house, because you can shove like 1,500 points of world leaders in it.
Yeah,
But when a knight just like casually toes it and looking down at you, and you're just like,
it
knock
was.
knock.
I think the mission as well was, let's see, round four. Round four was Linchpin.
Yeah.
So this was a game that I think I actually ended up winning because I took their home early. This player had two despoilers, like I said, a bunch of smaller war dogs running around, and then some Nurgle allies. They had two pieces of Nurgle and two units of Nurgling sort of spread out to cause me some problems. Um, and early on, this was a weird dice game. I didn't have much practice into knights, unfortunately, so I kind of wasn't aware that those were death lines that were being drawn on all those ruins. But holding a Forge Fiend in reserve ended up really helping me kind of keep my momentum, clear off their expansion objective of any small dogs. Because again, we run into the issue of these dogs are T9. Forge Fiends and Bloodletters are really, really good into them, actually, particularly once the lance is up. Now, 14 wounds is annoying to chew through. It does make it, especially when they will still most of the time have a 5-up save in melee.
Mhm.
That makes it a bit of a problem even when you have lethal and sustained on even Khorne's unit. I almost was failing to pick up wounded carnivores because of how many wounds they have. And if you're not familiar, the despoilers in melee, they're even tougher. Scarbrand was having trouble taking them down because they can pop a 5-up invul for a stratagem.
Yeah.
And so suddenly your math's off. It didn't help Scarbrand was also only wounding four times out of nine attacks. So
That's kind
we
of like
we
that.
love him.
That's the Angron problem too in that matchup. Is you're like, oh, Angron should be like great at tackling a knight and just beating the crap out of its spitlight. It's like if you just roll a couple too many twos on the wound roll, suddenly you're losing a 300 point model for nothing.
Yeah, and then they have that. Now I did have the benefit of again, by the time Scarbrand came down, it was round three, I believe. And most of the tiny stuff that was having thermal lances were dealt with. So the spoilers are wounding him on fives. It's still a lot of shots,
Right.
but every time they're shooting at Scarbrand, they're not shooting at something else, which was really important because the minute they decide to, that thing dies.
Poor Scarbrandt.
Poor boy. He took up like at least 2 turns. I think he absorbed 144 shots, if I'm not
That's
mistaken.
ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. GW, please do something about the Gatling Knight.
Please help. We're begging you. All of us trash lovers.
Yeah.
This was close too. This was 66 to 60. Um, and I was able to just hold him to just a low enough amount of primary throughout the game to keep it in my favor on the secondary play.
I mean, yeah, that's huge. You
Uh,
living in his back line for a turn on Linchpin probably is what did it. I would say that's
yeah,
probably the play that did it.
that and
And
also Karn being able to stand up and take a carnivore by himself.
I love
Karn's
it when
great.
he does that. He's so good. He's so good. Uh, but please don't do anything. He's my boy. Don't hurt Karn GW. He
Please don't
definitely.
make him 150 points. Please don't do it.
Please don't do it. Wait, 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 wait,
Yeah,
wait. So
if you can manage to get, sorry, just if you can manage to get a solo Karn that your opponent may not think is a threat, and then you can manage to give him Lance and Twin Linked by himself, it's very funny.
side tangent. I actually had my own before the nerf. I had my own like labbed up a Khorne Daemonkin list with another patron on the channel. And I was actually running Karn solo, just
Really?
just out the gate solo, because he's so obnoxious to deal with, right? Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Shoot him with a Melta? I'll make the save. I'm better than you. I'm just gonna make the save, right? What are you gonna do? Charge him with a unit that matters? Okay, whatever. He's back. Have fun, right? He's
maybe he
such
fought
a
on death.
and there's a chance there's bloodletters where his body was too, which and then he stands back up. So he's actually and Demonkin, I'm still a fan of him solo because because I still will run the Demon Prince in any detachment and him getting to hold the Demon Prince's hand and just walk around together and be like, I'm giving you a loan of dad. Are you proud of me? But anyways, enough of
I,
that. But Karn the Beast, even in Demonkin, he is so good
he's awesome.
because he can just stand back up, still be there, still be a threat, and have bloodletters immediately behind him because he died. It's so cool. So cool. It's
When
so cool.
you when you go into infantry, like if you fight orcs against Daemonkin and you've got Karn and you happen to be taking a unit of 8 bound, you're going to be in heaven.
Right.
You are going to. There is no Gazgul in this world that will survive.
Yeah. You throw
Makari can only make so many twos.
oh no, we're Devlins. I don't care about your saves. You're dead.
True, very true, actually.
All right, so
Um,
close one. Again, to the ability of just Khorne Daemon can just be anywhere. So
mhm.
a lot of speaking to that a little bit there. All right, now we're playing round five, no pressure. This is top cut round. So if you win this, you're guaranteed top cut, which is a huge accomplishment in and of itself. But obviously, we went further beyond. So tell me a little bit about this. I'd say probably the highest pressure game of the tournament.
Yeah, and this was one where I certainly looked at the list. This was the first one I looked at the list and went, I think I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
This was Blood Angels, Angelic Inheritors, and we're playing Terraform. And normally I love Terraform. The ability to pop up with Flesh Hounds anywhere and just say, hey, this is mine. I'm going to be
Tra
scoring points.
Trash
That's
loves
wonderful.
Terraform.
It's
That's true.
awesome. But Trash does not like Terraform when it also sees that much fight first on the table.
Yeah,
Sanguinor is frustrating. Judiciar with a brick of Blade Guard. There's a
there you go.
tongue twister. Got through it. That's very tough. But anytime you play a Space Marine player, you get to play my favorite game, which I inspire any KDK player to play, which is Hunt the Phobos Lieutenant. Hunt him down. Because that guy is going to get your army rule off by himself. You take him down, you got a really good chance of getting 3 blood tithes on the first turn with that stratagem. Worthy Skull, I believe is what
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
called. Yeah. And that's sure enough what I ended up doing. Um, I sent both units of Spawn into him. And
Nice.
I needed to because he spiked his saves on the first one. And from then on, I think I got 4 blood tithes from him because I rolled a 3 on the extra. So
Nice.
rest of the game, it is kind of just okay, now he has to deal with my spawn. They're gonna come out and his blade guard are now exposed. Forgefiends, kill that, no more fights first. Uh and he's lost a character. He's lost a very pivotal unit in his fight first sort of repertoire. He still has the Sanguinor. I charge a Ball Predator on turn two. Sanguinor does his heroic intervene, kills five of them. They still have Lance. He's T4.
Oh,
They
oh
cut his
dear.
head off. It was
Awesome.
it was like my 90-point trash just killed your god. That's
And that
awesome.
Sanguinor is like the biggest problem in that matchup for world leaders because like anywhere, anytime, Mo or Karn are just like hiding and they're not safe.
Yeah,
And that was Fight's first Mo's old worst enemy was that dude.
it always sucked. And this is a good game where it's kind of an example of um I feel people often don't know the tempo to go or sort of who is going first when it comes to Khorne Daemonkin. Do your world leaders go first or do your demons go first? That is always switching off based on the matchup. Very often in my games, I am sending the berserkers out first to farm tithes, but in this one, the demons were doing all the heavy lifting. Karn didn't come out till bottom of three. He didn't need to,
Right.
because they were just you hunt that focus lieutenant, and suddenly all your trash is able to just take care of stuff while you wait to coax out the sanguinary guard with Dante, the second sanguinary guard, and the third sanguinary guard. Then you let them go deal with it. Then you make use of the lance and twin linked. And again, once that all coaxes out, normally with 30 bloodletters, you're like, okay, I don't really have much. My stuff is in place. With 40, hey,
Yeah.
you left your home. I'm there now. Sorry.
And
The
I
fun
mean,
never ends.
it's probably like JPI is like a Bloodletter's dream to charge to, right? Especially once you have
Yes.
Lance up. Like it's just not even don't even roll the dice, just pick the models up, right? And you're at that
Yeah.
point.
Equivalent exchange of points very easily as well.
Yeah.
But arguably you're way more fine losing yours. So
Right.
absolutely.
Because worst case scenario, the Bloodletters just turn into more Bloodletters.
Yeah, exactly. This ended up being 100 to 64.
Dominant. Nice, man. Melee matchup can be tricky. That one can be pretty tricky. I like to think Blood Angels is still World Eater's favorite-ish because like the Forgefiends can do a lot of work there. But they have so many nuisance units and so many like pivotal moments, and usually that game where it can just go south fast.
Absolutely.
All right, round six, we're top cut. I mean, let's
Yeah.
go. Top 16, guaranteed 16th. Pretty much everything from here is gravy, and I can already see it right now. And what did we pair?
Yeah. Death Guard, third time. I'm riding high after 5-0, and then I see that parody, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
You know what? I was wondering when I played the entire event. I was like, where are all the Death Guard players? There's none of them here. And then you're just over here drowning in like pox and filth over here.
I'm cutting them. Like, please, someone help me.
Please help me.
And Vectorum on supply drop,
Oof.
too.
Well, not, I
Yeah.
mean, this supply drop in tournament scenes is a choice. It's a choice. Going second strong, I hear. So, did you go second?
I did go second.
I hear that helps. All right, talk me through
And
your game.
this was a very fun one. Definitely the most skilled Death Guard player I played at the event. The only one that I fought that was playing Mortarion, interestingly, which I do think is good in Vectorum. He also was the only one running a Demon Prince that he had given like a enhancement for a Feel No Pain. So this army was very resilient. And immediately we're doing some trading. We are doing some spawn fighting annoying poxwalkers. This game -1 to hit aura on his plagues really hurt. I really was not hitting my 4-ups for a lot of the game to hit.
Right.
And turn two, he moves Morty into the middle, and I rapid ingress my Scarbrand. And the mad lad says, you know what? I'm charging him. Hits the 9, Morty runs straight into Scarbrand. It was
That's a choice.
it was awesome. I respected him a lot for it. Morty did 5 damage to Scarbrand.
It's a choice.
Scarbrand then did 3 damage to Morty.
Guess it's just pillow time and just
It
beat
was
each
the
other with
most
pillows.
Yeah, it was the most anticlimactic monster fight I've ever seen. And Karn has to like get out the rhino very annoyed and be like, I'll take care of it myself, I
Right.
guess, and just walk over and smack him. But this was a close game because it was my own fault. Uh, I did not understand the new changes to supply drop. I did not know that the Omega objective wasn't the one that stays last. I didn't realize they had swapped that to where it's the
Oh
second to
yeah.
leave. So my round 3 and 4, I was making a lot of moves. I was like, okay, his Death Shroud of Drop, they're all on this side by the Alpha. If I just swing all the way to the other side, I'm
You
gonna
don't
be
have to worry
fine.
about it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, send Mo, send the Berserkers, and then I'm like, hmm. After I've already done this, the epiphany comes, and I realize that I'm nowhere near the middle point that I need to be. But neither was he, because most of the Death Shroud had died, except for a few that were being tied up by a very brave Rhino that decided to charge in and just
We love brave rhinos.
had to hold him, had to make sure they didn't overwatch Khorne when he charged in as well.
Nice.
I mean, that's what the Rhino's for at the end of the day once it gets empty. And end of that game, I had 5 Bloodletters and 10 Jackals left. Like, I nearly got tabled, and those 5 Bloodletters were luckily just able to fall back, get on that
Man,
supply drop with no one on it, and win the primary game.
you were on the index plan of world leaders of table yourself and hope it works out because you have a point lead. So it worked
Yeah,
out. So I mean, at this point, I would say, please tell me we're done fighting Death Guard. Right?
I wasn't convinced. But we are. I thought I was going to go into Derek, or I think that's who came in third. Luckily, I didn't. That's the last death
I mean,
card
at
for
this point,
my
I would have said
tournament.
like nature was calling for it at this point. But you are James Slayer of Death Guard at this point. So awesome, man. Supply drop is a hell of a ride. Especially, it always feels like there's like you know you're like winning the game, or you know you're like barely losing the game, but you know none of that matters because it's all about that last objective on the last turn.
It's the final. It's literally down to the final movement phase and just one unit being on there, and either you win or you don't.
Great mission.
Yeah.
All right, round seven.
No, we don't need to talk about this.
Oh, come on, man. You won 8-1. It was great.
The mirror match.
Mirror
This
match.
was this was actually a ton of fun. I told everyone afterwards. I was like, uh, this was a hell of a game. So yeah, so I went to Nova. I went to Nova because I had been, like I said, I've been grinding out world leaders, and I thought if I went to Nova, I was like, there's a decent chance if I do well, I can hit top 10 world leaders, and I would really like to meet some of the guys from the Red Path that I know are going. And then I'm face to face with you at the streaming table sitting 6-0, and I'm like, okay, this has gone pretty well according to plan. And then nothing went according to plan. Now, so yeah, in that game we got to see Berserker Warband versus Khorne Daemonkin on hidden supplies. On layout, I think it was two.
Two. Yep.
Yeah.
Check
So
and
the
set.
hidden supply objectives ended up just kind of chilling
Yep. And I
behind
could say I was
some
a little
walls.
relieved to get world leader on that one because like I was really scared. Terrain layout two into like another shooty army is like a nightmare, especially because you're also on the same problem that I was of trying to hide 20 berserkers on layout two. It's rough. It's real
It's
rough.
real rough. It's real scary, real fast, especially if one of them is a knight.
Yeah.
But the you were able to prove in this one, like, you went first, you got some really early staging, you were able to harass me very early, you punished a lot of my deployment. And this was a game I enjoyed a ton because as someone who doesn't have more than probably like 2 or 3 reps in Berserker Warband in the new codex, I understood everything you were doing. And you're setting up heroic interventions on your Rhino. I don't really have that for my Rhino. I don't have like 8 bound that are able to defend them. So it was really interesting to see the weaknesses in my list when someone who is much faster than me is able to scream across the board, threaten me, because that wasn't something I had been dealing with. And you were one of the only people because we both kind of had a similar philosophy when it came to the amount of trash we had, as we
Yeah.
lovingly call our boys. You were able to scream me fairly effectively. Um, and then, a few failed charges later, we end up with you pretty handedly winning that game. Um, but it
I
was
think
on stream
yeah.
and we had a good
Check it
time.
out. We'll have the link down below, guys. Check that game out. I mean, James still did give me a solid run for money. Melee v melee matchups, especially like world leaders, and especially how we play too. That game was like a very, very slow build, and then everything just hit all at once, which is typically how it goes. The trash goes and exchanges blows, and then we're just left with good units left. And that was like towards the end. I mean, we're missing like the nice part of this game where I was just out of
Yeah.
trash. Like all of my spawn were dead. I'd lost a squad of jackals. The other squad of jackals is getting committed. And I was like, I officially can no longer screen you. Have your way with my backfield. I can't do anything about it. And I think I said on stream, like, I wish they mic'd me up because I was like, oh shit, there's a dragon in my house now. Because I just couldn't screen them back. And I was like, it is what it is. Put them on the table. And what do we have? Scarbrand in my house.
Flips a forward chain. Wanted to flip the other rhino, couldn't quite do it because of the secondaries. And then Khorne gets out, swaggers up, no wounds.
Drops the ball. We were talking
Drops the ball.
so much good stuff about him. I think I didn't even put a wound on you. Like
No.
that was the most painful part. So, but the unsung hero.
The lonely rhino after all your berserkers do, what was it, 23 wounds?
Yep.
And
And you
I
get like
saved,
17 or 18, which
I think I made 18 of them.
someone instantly DM'd me from the red path just to piss me off after the game. It's a 96% chance to kill,
That's so good.
which is ironic because I got 4% later on in the tournament, but we're gonna it was your turn. I got 4% twice. Let's just say in the top 16, but it's okay. Rhino came in clutch with the steel
I was
chair.
gonna say, then you got the 1 in a million chance of the rhino doing
Yeah,
it.
that was one in a million.
Yeah.
But I'll take it. I'll take it. Like I said, that game is awesome. Anytime you see two units charged in that game and you expect an outcome, nothing ever happens how it should be expected. Go give that game a watch, guys. Like I said, we'll have that link down below.
Yeah. Hope we made some good TV for you.
And it was an awesome game, and I had a ton of fun. Like you really can't ask for. I mean, we were both in good spirits. Corn won. Funny number was the final score for me, right?
Yeah. I think
And
we
you
had
could
88-64 there.
Yeah, and you couldn't ask for two different styles of the same army on the table. Like we were both on completely different axes. And from my perspective too, man, like the 40 bloodletters were such a headache, right? I was like, I can't really play the game till they're gone because 10 bloodletters with Lance make contact with Karn and 10, they're gone. They're just gone. Granted, I did have access to -1 damage, but I can't do it everywhere, and you have 40 of them. So that was the problem.
Yeah, that
Um,
game was definitely whose berserkers are getting out of their rhinos quick or first.
All right, so round eight, which I actually see like you're in the Thunderdome, man. Like you paired into, I just see you paired into Team USA Sam Pope.
Yeah,
So
T-Sons.
that is not a good. Bloodletters don't really like Rubric Marines. They don't really like that.
No, they don't like that much. They don't like someone who's going to have an invul that's just going to deny them. They don't like flamers as well that are
No.
stopping them the entire time. And corn berserkers don't like a 10 brick of scarab occult terminators. They'll take a 5 brick. That's fine. They don't really like a 10 brick. This was a pretty tough one, but it was another game of, classic problem with Thousand Sons is they run out of stuff once you start killing them. Magnus can only be so many places, no matter how fast he is,
Right.
no matter how big that wingspan goes. It's very frustrating.
The amount of times I've been doom bolted by the tip of a wing. I'm so done. Get get the 11th edition in here. Get rid of that. I don't want that anymore.
Please, line of sight to bases, please. That's all we
Please,
ask.
please.
But it, I think he even survived the whole game. Magnus, I don't think I ever ended up hitting him because I was just trying to pick up all of his elite stuff. He had a supercharged Demon Prince with wings that could do like a 6-inch deep strike. He would combo that with the 10 Terminators that also had a character. He had 3 5-mans of Rubrics running around with characters. He had 2 sixes of the Bow Goats, or no, sorry, 3 sixes of the Bow Goats.
These things are
Uh,
nasty.
those things are annoying for how many points they are, and they reactive move on top of every other keyword they have. Um, and he had 2 units of Zankors that could go up and down. But again, that's kind of a small list of activations. And this was, if I remember correctly, mission wise, this was another linchpin game. So you need to be on that primary score because you're already not getting a ton. You're only getting 3 for your home.
Right.
And I was able to continuously lock him out of the primary game. And at the end of the day, looking, uh, he only scored his home on turns 2, 3, and 4. And that was able to carry me to the win. He did obviously get that big swing at the end, um, which unfortunately I don't have an accurate score here for that, but I can guesstimate it. And he walked away with Magnus and a sorcerer and 2 units of Bogos that I wasn't ever able to touch. and I walked away with a rhino, a lowly rhino that was doing the actions the entire game. Cleanse, establish locus, you name it, that's what they do. Flesh hounds, and a unit of jackals.
Really,
And
just
that
nothing.
game, yeah, just nothing, and
And that's how I see every thought. Like, 'cause I had like near identical experience with Thousand Suns because I played them earlier in it. That was my get into top cut round. That was ignore Magnus, sign of a smart world leader player because that is the biggest failure point ever. That dude just actually doesn't take damage if he doesn't want to. And then it's like you kill their whole army, and you're like, did I do good? And then Magnus does a backflip and tables you. It's just so frustrating. It's just
it's so true because he'll just like he'll doombolt one thing, he'll psychic shoot, full reroll another thing, then he'll kick it with his staff, and then you lose like 500 points right there, and you're like, well, at least
yeah.
the table's covered in dust, I
And then
guess.
80 bogoats from across the table snipe Khorne, and he's just like Peter Griffin, like face down on the take ground, just like, oh my God. Full rerolls to hit AP4 bogoats from downtown, and you're just like,
Cool, ignoring cover,
cool.
awesome.
Oh, precision too. You forgot that one. So
Yay. 100
80
points for
points.
six? Cool.
It's 80.
Is it 80 for
It's
six?
80. It's 80. Don't worry,
Okay.
spawn are a problem. Don't worry, spawn are too cheap.
Right.
Anyways, so good job, man. That's a like at that point, like you're in the Thunderdome of big names, right? Like that's a pretty big win, man. That's pretty impressive, especially for like I said we're playing like non-traditional world leaders and you're playing non-traditional lists, a very unique style, and it is very evidently working, right? Like you are playing with the big leagues and you are winning in the big leagues. So props to you, man. Your list worked. I mean, we still have another round to talk about, but I just can't. I didn't even see this pairing because I was in my own world on the other side of the room. But seriously, big props, man. Good, big kudos. Now
Thanks.
Sam's a good two too. I'm sure he gave you a good game too.
Yeah, it was a tough opponent. I
And
think
then
we
our
finished that one around 72 to 65, I think was the final there.
yeah, I think that looked right. 72, 65, 66.
There we go, 66.
All righty, so we're going into the final round. No pressure. I mean, like just playing for fun at this point, man. You're just like, how many more people can you just put in the dirt with just trash? Like you're just throwing trash.
Yeah, and
So,
we've got Necrons
Necrons.
for
I
round
mean,
nine.
honestly, probably like a breath of fresh air, right? Like,
Yeah, actually,
like
after everything else I fought,
Thousand Suns, Death Guard everywhere, Knights everywhere, and you're like, finally, a
just
somewhat
some
fair army.
just some normal game, please. Um, and then the biggest problem here is wraiths, you know. But piece of advice to anyone fighting wraiths with your berserkers: they're gonna hide that character that is gonna give them the feel of pain. Unless you coax them out, you're not gonna be able to precision them. But as long as that character's there, that wraith unit is technically an infantry unit, which means technically
Ooh.
dev wounds will tear them to shreds.
Yep, yep. Magic words.
Karn turn two handed a wraith brick before all the berserkers attacked just by himself. 30 unsaved wounds. Yeah.
You rolled 10 sixes?
I roll so six sixes and then he failed four saves. He rolled a lot of
Oh, okay. That's
sustains.
what you meant. That's what you meant. That's
It's
still
still a
six.
lot.
Six to still a lot. That's a
It
full
was
conversion.
great. It was awesome.
Man, and I know Josh too. He's probably like, wow, at the table.
He
You
was
know what?
just staring at it. He was a great dude the whole time. He was just staring at that table after all the race picked up. He was like, "What just happened?"
I have no sympathy for Canoptic Core players either. Anything that is a 4-up invuln with feel no pain, you know what? No, I'm not gonna get into this. You custody players, you're getting flack even right now, but that's still awesome to see. Um, yeah, that's
Yeah.
really good for you guys to pay attention to. That thing is an infantry unit. Remember that. We do have the math to kill that. Karn plus 10, even in like Warband, is like you should dunk it even harder.
Warband will kill it just
Yeah,
outright.
are you just wounding it on fours with the rerolls too? But
Yeah.
back to that monopole thing. But it's great to see that Daemonkin is capable of that too, especially once you get Lance Twin linked up on Berserkers. Like you should have no
Oh,
problem
just
walking through that,
gone.
just gone. Especially with Dev Wounds fishing for twin the Dev Wounds. Oh, that sounds disgusting.
It's
So,
beautiful. And the difficulty then is like if they're running a second one. The second one can be a little bit hard to deal with because it typically will react. A
mhm.
great response to the second one is Blood Crushers. Just tie them up the whole game.
Right. They don't, that's,
They
and
hate fighting Blood Crushers.
and if they kill one, you pay a CP,
And you bring it
right?
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually genius.
Yeah. So
You
whole game, single unit. And at this point, because he wants to get more in because he's realizing he's not killing them. Ooh, he just exposed that character. Mo runs up, cuts his head off.
you know, again, I have no sympathy. Connect Court, they're out here trying to tar pit you, and you're like, what if I tar pitted you? That's so awesome to see, man. It's like whenever I see two Wraith units collide, it's just like, all right, nothing's happening for 5 turns. Let's just go somewhere else for the rest of the game. That's awesome to see Khorne world leaders doing that to them. Like, who would have thought we could have tar pitted them with like be like Terminators? Like, nah, 3-man blood crushers.
Just 110 points of just riders from hell.
And I'll say,
Um,
like, even in the game that we had, like, I like charge two spawn. I was like, oh, the two spawn will like they did 2 damage, and I was just like, oh. Granted, there was other things involved there, but I was like, oh, like I was definitely like,
oh man.
these things are gonna require some effort to get rid of.
And then it's another case as well as like Bloodletter's DDAs or DAD Doomsday
DDA,
arcs, DDA. I always get confused by it. T9. You drop your boys down, you make your charges. They are having a bad time and they don't have very good targets. They
yeah.
do want to shoot at those blood crushers, but those blood crushers are not monsters. And they don't want to fall back those wraiths. They want those wraiths on the point.
Honestly, I'm happy if Doomsday Arcs are targeting Blood Crushers of all things, right? That's
Yeah.
just like you're still shooting into invulns. You still could be fine, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's awesome to see, man. I mean, we finished 8-1. I mean, you did play. I know a lot of these guys. A lot of them are friends of mine, and you gave them all a very solid, good game, and you won. You did good, man. 8-1. And how do you feel after that? Right?
I felt incredible. I had my friends behind me the entire time. Some of them had dropped, some of them played the whole way through. When I finished 8-1, they all came up and just like mobbed me and gave me a hug. And I kind of thought I was tearing up in that moment, like a little bit. I thought I was elated. I was elated and kind of tearing up after I went 6-0, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Like
it's
it
a
was
huge,
an
huge
incredible
accomplishment, and it
time.
just didn't stop. Like you just kept at it, man. Like huge props.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. And I'm still kind of riding the high, to be honest.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're 8-1, non-traditional list. Is there anything that you would tweak about your list, or would you pack this up? And if you could do it all over again, would you start at game one at Nova again? Would you run this exact same list?
There was an argument in my head a little bit. It's like, okay, do you put just a single unit of 8 pound in there? Because Death Guard, when they run that -1 to hit, it hurts. And for some reason, they don't always do it. For some reason, they will give you -1 save.
Right, especially
They
to an
need,
army of like half invulns. Like that's,
yeah,
I guess, throwing a little bit, but carry on.
it was very interesting. I thought, like, do you get the 8 pound in there just to give yourself a +1 to hit? And the answer is still no, because they're only affecting the berserkers, and only when the berserkers are fighting not,
Not
the
monsters.
6 drones that are out there. So probably still not worth it. I think that argument comes back down to, do you sub out the 40th Bloodletter? Do you put in a Rhino, a second one? Do you put in a third unit of Spawn to try and effectively get you some more tithe points? I am still, after this tournament, a fan of the 40th Bloodletter. I think it gave me a lot of flexibility to harass my opponent in ways that were making them make poor decisions. You know, kind of just, again, we go back to just pulling them in every direction, being as reactionary as you can until very suddenly you sort of break their neck, right?
Right.
And you decide to apply that pressure.
And I feel like, especially like Bloodletters number one and two are going to do pretty much the same thing every game. They're going to spawn somewhere in the middle. They're going to die doing an action. They're going to go do a cheap trade. That's why we used to advocate for Bloodletter number three, because that's like the mystery one that's just going to come get you
Yeah.
later. And having the backup plan, like living
Plan
in the
C.
back of their head, where that is the lose your opponent, that is the lose your home objective Bloodletter squad on turn two, which contributed to a lot of your success, your ability to constantly be harassing your opponent no matter where they are. And you know what? You failed that 8-inch charge rerolling. 90 points in the backfield. Is it the end of the world? No. Did that suck? Yes. You still
But it's
are
90 points.
probably hammering them in the front of the face with Scarbrand and Khorne, right? Like you're still
Yeah.
doing you're still doing fine in the other parts of the table. So again, man, like just to recap, like 8-1, biggest super major on the East Coast. You're playing big leagues here. You're talking Team USA members here. You're talking players that are regularly taking down majors and GTs, and you're doing really well and you're winning, man. Like huge props. I was super excited to get a chance to pull you onto the channel for a second to talk about all this. Um, is there anything you wanted to say to your friends? Is there anybody you want to thank? I'll give you
Yeah,
a chance to spill your guts right now.
yeah, thanks a ton. First thing I want to touch on, sort of still a little list centric, just a little
Oh,
fun
yep, for
fact for
sure.
anyone watching. It's exactly 88 models.
You sold me. Done.
Yeah,
Shipping
perfect.
it. Wouldn't
There's
change a
why you do
thing.
the 40.
It wouldn't change anything. You know what? That would be like the Rhino, 10 bloodletters, 80 funny
Funny
number, and a
number.
funny number.
Gonna bring me some luck. But yeah, shout out to all my people down here in sort of southwest area of Virginia, Stanton at the Dragon's Horde, Saber Cars and Games in Charlottesville, and all my friends at Watchtower Games in Harrisonburg. We kind of have like a little three-city tournament bracket. We all
Yeah.
share each other's players. It's a lovely time. We get to see each other all the time and get tons of reps against different armies. And they are the people who basically dragged me out to all these tournaments and make me go. So I wouldn't be anywhere without you guys, and I really appreciate all you've done for me.
It's awesome, man. And I can say from my personal experience after playing you, you were I'd actually say you were my best game of the weekend. Like I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was good laughs all around. Um, Perfectly reasonable with me. I know it's like really hard when you have the camera over your head and you have the TOs, especially once you get to the top table, the TOs are sometimes trying to make decisions for you, and you're just like, no, no, it's us. Let
Yeah,
us play. So, yeah, man, solid run. And
thanks.
selfishly, to do a couple plugs here, guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you've made it this far, we did get some channel dice. Please check that out. I know we have low stock at this point. I managed to give a couple away during the event. I really like square corners. Maybe we're gonna get round corners soon. I'll put that link down below. Flash a little picture of it. But if you're interested in more in-depth list construction, if you want to get some workshops, like please check out our Patreon. Um, I'm sure maybe James will be poking his head around the Discord a little bit. Hopefully, I know people are going to want to pick your brain, man. Like this is seriously a phenomenal performance. So feel free to I don't know, hang out, check us out. We talk about world leaders on this channel quite a little bit, just a little bit. So with that being said, James, any last comments before we close this one out?
Just thank y'all for having me on. It's been a blast.
Yeah, it was awesome to have you on, man. I mean, like seriously, really do appreciate it. So with that, guys, so I'll say stay healthy, stay safe, and kill, maim, burn.